Hello there, you're watching Bizworld. The Malaysian economy grew at 4.7% for 2018, anchored by private sector spending and continued expansion in the service and manufacturing sectors. The economic growth is, however, lower than the 2017 figure at 5.9% due to temporary supply disruptions in commodity-related sectors experienced in the second and third quarter of 2018. As for the final quarter of 2018, the GDP figure climbed to 4.7%.
The growth performance is highly respectable, reflecting resilient private sector spending, support from net exports, and continued expansion in the manufacturing and services sectors. These factors offset the supply disruptions in the commodity-related sectors, the rationalization of government spending, and a challenging external environment.
She said this at Malaysia's 2018 full-year gross domestic product and fourth quarter results announcement earlier today. Unlike Malaysia, most major and regional economies recorded slower economic growth in the fourth quarter of 2018 versus the third quarter, namely Europe, United Kingdom, China, Singapore and Taiwan. For the period under review, the country registered 33.5 billion ringgit of current account surplus. Meanwhile, foreign direct investment FDI in Malaysia hit 32.6 billion ringgit, while Malaysia's direct investment abroad DIA stood at 21.3 billion ringgit, while headline inflation averaged at 1% last year.
Taklimat ini juga merangkumi perkembangan monetary dan keuangan di Malaysia. Jabatan Perangkaan.
Meanwhile, commenting on the newly formed 16-member Economic Action Council, the Central Bank Governor recommended that the council review the incentive framework in place to reinvigorate private investments. Dato' Nur Syamsiah also called for structural reforms to address rising costs of living and to improve people's income.
And how we can improve income requires structural reforms. Like I said, how can we reduce foreign labor? How do we generate high-paying jobs? How do we have investments in how do industries move up the value chain? How do we improve and invest more in downstream industries? How do we improve labor mobility? How do we ensure that the education system producing the right sets of graduates that serves the needs of the industries?
She added that promoting tourism is something that can be looked into immediately, as tourism expenditure can have an instant impact to the economy. Also, the council should review some of the archaic laws which prevent Malaysia from maximizing the full potential of the sharing economy. Commenting on the 2019 prospects, Dato' Nur Syamsiah expects the country's economy to experience moderate growth this year amidst external headwinds such as the ongoing trade tensions between the US and China. She said the growth will be supported mainly by external demand and resilience in private consumption. The governor also reassured that Malaysia has buffers to withstand any external shocks.
In terms of buffers, one, we still have a current account surplus. We still have excess liquidity in the system, and the banks are in a very strong position in terms of the capital that they hold and the liquidity position that they hold. So they will be in a position to weather and to ensure that intermediation continue to take place in the economy.
She said exports, which rose to 836.4 billion ringgit in 2018 from 807 billion ringgit in 2017, would also continue to be the growth driver for 2019. Meanwhile, foreign insurers will need to submit their concrete plans by early April 2019 as to how they plan to comply with the country's financial liberalization policy. The foreign ownership limit for Malaysian insurers was set at 70% in 2009 under the policy.
The deadlines are imposed on a bilateral basis based on their plans as to how they intend to comply with the conditions that they had accepted when they entered into corporate exercises.
Previously, the governor noted that foreign insurers are given the option to divest their stakes in the Malaysian units or contribute to the B40 National Health Protection Fund to comply with a BNM ruling to sell at least 30% of their stakes to local parties. Well, that wraps up Bizworld this time around. I'm Azara Tagaya. Thank you for investing your time with us.